My hedges have been really cool this year. This is the one that I laid, and you can see the apple trees kind of got their share of light this time, and look how heavily this one is cropped. Absolutely covered in apples. Probably needs thinning, to be honest, if I was going to bother with it. It's only a cider apple tree anyway, but it's just incredible how much that bit of light has done to it, and that it cropped really, really heavily. I'm really pleased with that. Okay, so I thought I'd do a little homestead tour. It's the beginning of August. It's the time where I kind of like peak guilt of all the stuff I should have done and haven't done. One thing I have done is out here in the front garden, or the front drive, is I cleared back these brambles. These were properly overgrown, coming out to over here. So we were losing a car parking space, and it was just a bit of a nightmare. Wife reckoned she'd snagged enough pairs of tights to cost us a fortune. So decided enough was enough. We took it out. Had to get the digger to kind of pull some of it back, and use the chainsaw as well. Got loads of thorns in my fingers. Even though I was using big thick gloves, but brambles can be quite vicious. So I got that sorted, and I felt like I'd kind of really achieved something, a bit of general maintenance that kind of gone a bit away, but it was nice to get it done. And while I was doing that, I decided that these gates that kind of separate out the front from my workshop and the back, they never quite open properly, and it's just one of those little jobs that really kind of annoys me and bugs me. And actually, when I did it, it didn't take that long. I've just used a couple of ratchet straps for now, pulled it back over, and now it shuts lovely, which is really nice. Shuts easy. Patio's been great. We've kept it really clear, and the drain's been working awesome as well, so that's really cool. So we'll go look in the garden. The garden's not where I want it to be, not by a long shot, but we are trying, and we're kind of cutting our losses a little bit and deciding that we're going to sheet over some of it. I can't keep on top of it this year. I've been pushing a lot more with the business and stuff, so it's just trying to keep on top of things and make them manageable. So you can see actually it's going to be relatively heavy fruit year actually, which I'm quite surprised about, because last year everything cropped so heavy. But in the greenhouse, got tomatoes, still got some broad beans, also got some cucumbers over at the end here. The kids have been really enjoying these. I think these are miniature white or something, really tasty. And these tomatoes are meant to be blight resistant. They're from real seeds, safe for seeds from. And they're just coming good now. So I'm getting a good few handfuls of those every day. Really tasty. Got some garlic here, drying out. And I've got a few plants. These are electric daisies, which I'm going to grow for seeds this year. I always give away seeds of my things I sell, so that's going to be one of the seeds for next year. Now, into the main garden. It might rain again in a minute. It's been pretty showery today. So this is a bed of carrots, believe it or not. This is a bed of beetroots. And there are loads of good beetroots down here. These are golden beets. Look at them, absolutely great. But got fat hen all grown up around it. It's not the end of the world. I'll pull it out fairly soon when I pull up the beetroot. Over here you can see, had lots of problems with bindweed. This has come up. This is the bed I talked about not giving too much space to the bindweed, but obviously it's come out the side, so I need to get on top of that again. We've got some more beetroot in that bed there. Quite a cool plant. Got some quinoa growing, just coming up good now. Hopefully that'll get a bit bigger. I was a bit late putting that in. And then here we've got some amaranth. These are a cooking leaf amaranth. I haven't got round to cooking the leaves yet, and they're just starting to go to seed over there, I notice. So hopefully I get to cook with them fairly soon. Got some big old courgettes. And more like marrows than courgettes, some of them. Some French beans, a few lettuces, not many. Got some leek that's gone to seed here, which I'm quite pleased with. Again, for my seeds, for my things I sell. And then down here, these are Brussels sprouts doing really well. Got cabbages. Look at this cauliflower. So here, down in the garden, they've got these. We started to kind of reclaim some of the beds. They got a bit weedy, and so we decided we're going to plastic over them for this summer, for now, or maybe take the sheets off and put some green manures down, and so let them grow so far and then cover them back over. But what I don't want is loads of weeds growing, which is what's happened. If you look, swing it around too much, Look down here, it's got lots of weedy beds. So we're trying to go through them one bed at a time, and I've actually been paying the children, much as I think they should do chores, but this is a horrible job to kind of pull these beds back into decent shape. So I've been giving them £3 a bed if they do it, so they can share it, or they can do a bed each, or whatever they want. We've got these artichokes ready to harvest as well, so they're quite tasty. So these are some more beds here that need tidying up outside the front of the polytunnel. I'd really like to get these back into operation. Grow strawberries with them would be really cool, maybe. So here in the polytunnel, got lots of kind of things are starting to come good. Got lots of pickling cucumbers. These are Boston pickling, one of my favourites. Really, really tasty as a cucumber. Also really tasty to pickle. I did have some nearly ready. I can't see them now. Maybe the kids have been in and had them. And then all the tomatoes grown really well. I tried to keep on top of the pruning this year. We've got quite a few. There's a few ready. A few cherry tomatoes down there. And I've been trying to do my watering a bit differently this year. So rather than kind of having the timers set every day, I've just been watering for a day per week, basically. Just leaving the soaker hose on for a good few hours, like a really long water, and then just leaving it the rest of the week. It's not been that hot, so I mean, I think it's been fine with that. Got a few other bits and pieces. Got some winter squash growing there, perennial kale, lots of seedling tomatoes growing everywhere. And it's the first time I've grown some aubergines. Look at that. That's a great looking aubergine. I think that's ready to harvest, actually. Not a massive fan of aubergines, so I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it looks really good. So we'll harvest that and maybe cook something with it. That's ready to go this week. And look at the size of these tomatoes as well. These are going to be great when they're coming out. Absolutely, really, really proud of these. They're really good. One thing I do like, look at that, is all the future fruit we've got growing. And the orchard is going to be another busting year by the looks of it. And I'm actually going to go through and thin it a little bit. You can see, again, this is that Scotch Bridget tree. Always crops really heavily. Even though it's cropped so heavily last year, it broke branches, which can sometimes slip a tree into kind of biannual cropping. It's still cropping really, really, really well. Both of them actually, I've got two down here. They've cropped both really well. The russet, this one cropped really well last year and it's not cropped very well. The other russet over here is cropping really well. So it shows, it doesn't take much distance, much difference, changing climate or conditions to be a lot different in what you kind of produce. Got a few pears, not many. Hopefully enough to can a few in syrup. Yeah, medlar's doing really good. Beautiful tree. This is winter banana, said to it's got little tiny ribs on it, said to resemble a banana. You see the rib? So here we got Colombian rock hens and Indian game chicken, cockerel. He's been ostracised from the other chickens up the top there. I think it's been a bit of a falling out. I've got two cockerels at the moment. They have their territories. This guy's quite happy down here with just two of them. So carrying on looking at fruit. We've got the damsons. There's quite a few. This is Merryweather. There's quite a few damsons on there. I think it's going to be quite a good year for these. These are great because they're freestone. The stone doesn't stick inside them, so great for preserving or anything like that. Unfortunately, this Victoria plum, it's got quite a few on. Looking like we'll get a good harvest of that. I do love plums. This apple tree here, actually, this is a Hereford beefing. This is a cooking apple. There's only a few on there, not so many, which is a bit disappointing. And down here, got a few young apple trees by the duck pen. This is Beauty of Bath, which would be ripe now if it had any on there, but it's not. And then over here, we've got my black Worcester pear, which I'm really, really looking forward to having it get a bit bigger. But it's established itself nicely. Seems to be growing no problem whatsoever. A few marks on the leaves, but nothing too drastic. And down here we've had our blueberries and gooseberries. They've done quite well for us this year, nice to pick at. Should have netted the blueberries really. I think the birds got more than we did. Josterberry, I'm going to cut this right back this year as it's all died off. But inside it's still got some decent berries on it. It's the cross between a blackcurrant and a gooseberry. And I don't think it's as good as either, but it's quite a fun berry to have. about the place. And this blueberry here was like grapes this year. It's been really, really good. Going on to here, we've got like 16 varieties of plum I put in about 3 years ago. There's not many at all, which is a bit of a shame. Got a few. I think this is a damson actually, by the look. Yes, there's not many plums on these at all this year. There's a few kicking around. But I'm hoping in a few years these are going to really start to pay me back. There's a few in there. Not quite ready. And the idea is to spread my season for as long as possible. This one the same, not much. I had some really early plums, Czar I think, from a tree over there in the old chicken pen. You know where the willow comes from all the time? Self-set, self-seeds, just needs to come out this winter. It's not growing in the right place. And I'm not short of willow. And a bit of a surprise the other week. I can shoo them out. What's these guys? There is 6 in that pen. Surprise chicks. Always nice. Could have come at a bit of a better time. But the kids enjoy it, and I like having a few extra chickens about the place. Replenishes what the fox has had. The fox did have a badger or something had a duck the other day, which is a bit of a shame, especially as it was the male duck, and the 2 females now seem a bit listless without him. So they're a bit depressed and down. Don't seem to do quite so much ducking around. So on from the plum trees, we've got the soft fruit over here, which I didn't use to its full effectiveness this year. I harvested a lot of gooseberries, not so many blackcurrants. I think the birds had more, but I didn't prune the bushes very well, and so I don't think they cropped anywhere near as heavily as they did last year. But having my new gooseberry harvester has made me think about putting some more in. So what I'm thinking of doing, cropping this grass real low by these cherry trees here, and there's a metre gap there, and I think like a genuine gooseberry hedge. I'm going to take loads of cuttings, buy some different varieties, and put in a genuine gooseberry hedge right the way along there, and you know, 30 or 40 plants maybe across there, and just see how they grow. And then on good years I can harvest lots, on years I can't be bothered, I won't bother. Let's go across to the meadows now, have a look over there. Now the meadow has been just cut for hay the last good few years. We do have some sheep on it in the winter, not our own, and it needs cutting again fairly soon. All the wild grasses and all the flowers are kind of flowered and gone to seed, so kind of the ideal time to get it cut. There's not going to be a huge number of bales off this, but it should be really nice stuff. My friend who's a farmer has the bales, so it's a nice little meadow. It's been full of life, full of grasshoppers and everything else. It's been a joy actually, you know, the flowers, and seeing some of the flowers come back. Had yellow rattle come back up over there as well. It's meant to be quite a good indicator species of what's going on. Down in the bottom field as well, same kind of thing going on. So it was like patches of meadow sweet. You can see all the yellow rattle, or meadow rattle, depending on what you want to call it. You hear it, kind of growing everywhere. Lots of vetch, lots of other wildflowers growing in it. This is quite a wet patch, this bottom field, but it's quite natural, and I think it's a really old lay. I don't think it's ever been reseeded, or not for a long time. Okay, the coppice, I should have done some more maintenance work on it. You can see here the black form really kind of formed its own hedge actually, and I want to take that back, let the hazel kind of have a bit more space, a bit more of a useful plant to me. But you can see it's filling out nicely. It's amazing to think I planted these. Yeah, silver birch. It's a good 25 foot high. Got a few apple trees here. Also got our own little plot. Ooh. Japanese wineberries. These delicious, taste just like they sound. like a slightly winey raspberry. Really, really tasty. My little apple trees down here have started to get some apples on as well. They all seem to have a few, not too many. Some have leant back over where I was trying to pull them up with baler twine. Looks like the baler twine might have snapped. A few apples on the trees over here. Let's go have a look. Yeah, look at that, some lovely fruit on there. Some of these hazels want cutting down so they can kind of regrow up. Might be a good job for this winter, and use the poles out of it for different things. I like how I've scattered the apple trees around here actually. All ones I've grafted myself, so it's not cost much money. You can see though the blackthorn is coming this way. There's blackthorn everywhere, to be fair. So I need to have a real go at trying to keep it under control a little bit more. Okay, so you can see the different growth here. So this is what I thinned out, leaving 3 stems on each, but it has started to come back from the base again. But it's put on some great growth. I think there's going to be some great trees in 5-6 years time, ready for a bit more firewood. Look at that, 3 stems. A little bit of deer damage down there, or rabbit. These ones will need cutting out again, keep them thinned out. And this is what I cut this year. Look at this growth on here. This is looking fabulous. Almost looks like cannabis growing like that. Really green stems. There's a year's growth, but it's come back, what, 9 foot tall? So can't wait to see this grow in this kind of system that we've set up. This 5-year, 6-year rotation that we're going to do. It's looking great. So the 1 year and the 2 year, and then here we've got like 8 years. So this is what's going to come out next section, and we just keep an eye on that, keep watching it, see how it grows and how it produces for us. So yeah, not huge amounts going on the small holding. Did say I was going to get different animals this year, and it hasn't happened for different reasons. You can watch a video on my kind of small holding guilt that I did earlier in the year. Things have kind of derailed us a little bit, and I've been concentrating a lot on my business and making stuff, and that's worked really well. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time.